Hi there, this is Martin Williams here with my review of my favorite 3 spiritual enlightenment books. And so there's many books out there on spiritual enlightenment, and these 3 happen to be my favorites at this moment. I may come across a book tomorrow that shifts the list, but this is what I'd like to share with you today. The first book is by Paramahamsa Nithyananda, and I taught and lived with him in India for on and off for about 7 years, and still follow his teachings on an almost daily basis. And the book he wrote is called Guaranteed Solutions. And this book is the most amazing compilation of information about the 7 chakras, or energy system in the body, and what blocks the chakras and what opens them. The book starts off with a description of who we are as humans and compares us with many of us living really in a functional way that is not optimal, and shares with how we could live in a functional way, totally optimal functionality, which he says really is living in constant bliss. And that's my experience too, having been around him, is that our lives can be lived in that space of constant joy, bliss, and ecstasy. So in this book, he talks about each chakra, goes into detail what blocks it, what unblocks it, and it contains amazing insights into the human condition. I'm just going to flip the slide here so you can see the next one. There we go. So that's the first book. The second book, I think this is the cover of the first book here, Guaranteed Solutions. The second book is by Yogananda, who is another Indian saint who came to the US many years before Nithyananda. And his book is called Autobiography of a Yogi. And what it is, it's a description of his life, and especially his early life growing up in India and meeting all these different masters and mystics and having these extraordinary experiences. So it talks about his humanness and his doubts and his fears and his struggles and his failings and his achievements in the most delightful, fulfilling way. And it opens up thoughts and possibilities for each one of us to live in the same space of joy and bliss and oneness with all. So it's a beautiful, inspiring book that I know has inspired millions and millions of yoga teachers around the world, and yogis and spiritual seekers. It's almost like one of the Bibles of spiritual seeking. Then the third book, I was going to show you a picture of the cover of that one. There's Autobiography of a Yogi. The third book is called 1,000 Names for Joy, and it's by the writer and the mystic Byron Katie. And she's an American citizen who was depressed for many years, really struggled, and then had an experience that put her in touch with her own inner space of divinity, joy, bliss. And so she's writing in this book about her experiences, and it is the most delightful, compelling, touching stories of how she perceives herself, perceives the world, interacts with people, interacts with everyday life. It is so touching, so beautiful, and so poignant how she describes her interaction with other people and with life. For me, it resonates in my whole body when I read that book. It's a beautiful book. And here's a picture of that book. So again, let me summarize the 3 books. We have Guaranteed Solutions by Paramahamsa Nithyananda. And really, this is very much a how-to. First of all, it opens your consciousness to possibility, and then shows you ways in which you are not fully achieving your potential. It contains in there a number of meditations too. So it's very practical. If you want one book, that's the book I'd be recommending. Next is Autobiography of a Yogi by Yogananda. And this book is really for inspiration. Read this, and if you don't get fired up and inspired to shift your life, then read it again. The third book by Byron Katie describes in such beautiful language, such poetic language, her intimate relationship with the world, that too just melts you and makes you want to function in that same space. And it creates within you a knowing that you can function in that same space too. So it's another beautiful inspirational book. Then Enlightenment, what is it all about, really? And it's about being happy all the time, being constantly in joy and bliss, no matter what's going on around you, whether there's chaos or disasters or easy moments or tough moments, everything flows along in the most beautiful flow. And in every situation, that clarity, that joy is there, leaving you with a sense of deep gratitude for everything all the time. So for me, I end up waking up smiling, enjoying the day, and I'll literally dance in the morning and a number of times typically throughout the day too. I'll just break out into dance because I'm just so joyful and thrilled no matter what's going on. And with this bliss comes a clarity and calmness that just is all pervading, just filters through. And from the same space, then goals become very easy to manifest. Amazing relationships, amazing health, all these things that we aspire to as external sources of happiness come to us easily from the space of bliss. They just happen from the space of bliss. And bigger goals you never thought, dreamed, or thought were possible also happen from that same space. How easy to achieve? Well, it's actually way easier than you think. I'd say 3 months, 6 months, a year, and as little as 1 or 2 days if you're in the right frame of mind, the right space, the right experience, can just shift you into this space immediately. So a couple of tips for you. First of all, set enlightenment or living a blissful life as your #1 goal. And just by setting that intention, things will happen. The most remarkable adventure has begun. You've set yourself up for the most remarkable adventure of a lifetime. Focus on that goal, keep on moving. Second tip, begin your day smiling consciously. As I said, I wake up smiling. Now it's become just part of me. But for a while, it was a spiritual practice to wake up. Oh, let me bring a smile to my face. Let me bring a giggle through my whole body. And you'll find the shift is remarkable when you do it. Tip number 3 is when strong emotions come up, breathe deeply. Take the time to just breathe deeply, deeply, deeply into your lower belly. And that'll shift them. And then obviously, there's a bunch of other techniques and practices we can use to move you even deeper, meditation being one of them. And view every disturbance as the opportunity for enlightenment. So who am I and how can I be telling you all this stuff? Well, I spent 30 years leading expeditions around the world as an expedition leader, leading expeditions to the North Pole, South Pole, Everest. I've got a big, long list, big resume of accomplishments. And I was seeking happiness in that process. And let me tell you that bliss is way better than all that stuff. I had fun, and I don't regret a minute, and bliss is even better. I also created an airline in Antarctica. So I did the whole entrepreneur thing and the money thing, and was involved in $5 million a year for this business. And let me tell you, bliss is even better than that. I then created a global youth project to inspire youth to take action for the environment. And again, I was thrilled to do this project. It was a wonderful project, and bliss is even better than that. And from the space of bliss, we create even bigger projects. So I'm now creating even bigger projects than that one from the space of bliss. Off to India and studied with Paramahamsa Nithyananda, and was in and out of India studying with him, and ended up teaching the monks in India meditation, and then traveling the world teaching meditation and teaching the science of enlightenment. And so I'm totally thrilled to keep on doing that. It's just my heart's delight to help people. And now I'm a spiritual coach, and you can take courses from me as well. And so if you've enjoyed this video, first of all, read the books and get hold of me if you want to, and let me see what I can do to help you on your journey. You can reach me. Oh, sorry, I forgot this is what people say about me. So Harvecker, who's considered one of the world's greatest teachers in terms of spiritual development and wealth. I've worked with him extensively, and he has some nice things to say about me. So I look forward to helping you on the journey if I can, and hope you've enjoyed the video. And you can reach me at my website, enlightenmenthow.com. And thank you very much once more, and I'll talk to you soon. See you. Goodbye.